What I will present is part of a project titled Globalizing History of All Women Exhibitions, in which I study participation of Polish women artists in international all-women exhibitions in order to analyze transnational relations between women artists and also global circulation of ideas regarding women. I will concentrate today on one case study, exhibition titled International Exhibition of Women Artists that was organized in Budapest in 1960. This exhibition is one of the very few international all-women exhibitions organized in the Eastern Bloc, and it's completely ignored in art historical narratives. This exhibition was organized before the Western ideas of second-wave feminism started to circulate in Eastern Europe and was based on other ideas, completely other ideas. To reconstruct them, we need to take into consideration the fact that this exhibition was organized on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of International Women's Day. Beginnings of the International Women's Day are to some extent unclear, but this anniversary referred to the fact that in 1910 in Copenhagen, during the general meeting of the Second International, the International Socialist Women's Meeting was organized. What you can see are fragments from the report of this meeting. And during this meeting, the idea was formulated to hold the International Women's Day the following year. International Women's Day was understood at that time as a concerted action to advocate for female suffrage. International celebrations of 15th anniversary of International Women's Day were coordinated by the organization that was named, or is named because it still exists, Women's International Democratic Federation. This left-wing organization was founded in Paris in 1945, and it aimed at advocating for women's rights, generally speaking, around the globe. In 1984, the Second Congress was organized in Budapest, and I will just mention that this Congress that was organized just before the exhibition in 1960 gathered delegates from 70 countries from around the globe. Recent scholarship demonstrates that the after-war period, often characterized in feminist historiography as an area of female political apathy, one could say, between the waves, between the first and second generation feminism, was actually quite rich in transnational exchanges between women activists. In June 1959, in Sweden, in Malmö, the initiating organizing committee of this international celebrations of 15th anniversary was, this committee met to discuss these celebrations. The letter written by the General Secretary of Women's International Democratic Federation, Italian activist Carmen Zanti, was sent to national women's organizations. What you can see here is a Polish translation of this letter that was published in a bulletin of Polish Women's League. Carmen Zanti described Women's Day as a symbol of women's aspirations for a more just and better life, and also a symbol of solidarity among women around the globe. She also claimed that that a lot has been achieved in several countries, but there are still others where a lot of work needs to be done as far as women's situation is concerned. The International Bulletin of Women's International Democratic Federation published information about national celebrations, and in a fragment prepared by Hungarian women, an international exhibition of women artists is mentioned. The International Exhibition of Women's Artists opened in Budapest in February 26, on February 26. This exhibition, initiated by National Council of Hungarian Women, can be considered a part of international celebrations organized by the global network of women activists gathered in the Women's International Democratic Federation. But also, at the same time, because the National Council of Hungarian Women was associated with the Hungarian Socialist Workers' Party, this exhibition became an element of official Hungarian cultural diplomacy. It is, of course, not without significance that in the Eastern Bloc, an International Women's Day was a holiday celebrated by the ruling parties. What I want to pay your attention to now is that in this exhibition participated women artists from both sides of the Iron Curtain. In the catalogue, 7 countries are mentioned: Hungary, but also the German Democratic Republic, Italy, Poland, Romania, and Sweden. From the press reviews, and here I need to mention that I don't speak Hungarian, and finding and reading materials in Hungarian would be very difficult for me, so I cooperate with Victoria Popovic as my research assistant. And Victoria, if you are listening to us, thank you very much for your help. So the press, in press reviews, from press reviews we know that actually artists from 17 countries exhibited, but we know that the invitation was sent to 25 countries and 16 countries responded positively, and Hungarian was the 17th country. So far, we don't know, it is not clear for us how this discrepancy can be explained between the catalogue, exhibition catalogue, and the actual number of countries exhibiting. I hope that we will find more documents in archives about organization of the exhibition and it will be possible to explain. What is crucial for me now is that, as I said, countries from both sides of the Iron Curtain participated, but also artists from the Global South. The selection of participating countries reflected an international network created by female activists within the framework of the Women's International Democratic Federation. And I was thinking yesterday when Lucy was talking about first global exhibitions in '89, that maybe that was the first global exhibition, actually, of contemporary art. As was claimed in a catalogue, in a text published in a catalogue, what is interesting, this text is signed by National Council of Hungarian Women, not by any specific person, but by any individual person. So as is claimed in the catalogue, the International Women's Exhibition, an initiative of the Hungarian Women's Council, is not just an art competition, but it is a significant step towards bringing women living in different countries and social systems, fighting for progress and peace, closer together in their creative work. And also bringing together the works of women artists from all over the world to spread the message of people's desire for peace. Proclaiming peace was, from the beginning of the existence of Women's International Democratic Federation, one of its major goals, yet the catalogue concentrated rather on the necessity to support women who are talented and want to be artists, and also this text concentrated on the necessity to encourage women's interest in social issues. But the catalogue also, the last sentence of the catalogue also said that in this way, I quote here, in this way we are contributing to the celebration of the 50 years of a first heartfelt struggle and the tradition of the struggles in a country, that is in Hungary, where the area of building socialism has already achieved the objectives that gave birth to this International Women's Day. In this last sentence of a catalogue introduction, we clearly see that the national politics were part of the event. What confirms it is that it was Laszlo Gyáros, president of Institute of Cultural Relations, responsible for international cultural exchange in Hungary, who gave an opening speech. And it was his name that appeared on the invitation, not the name of any representatives of National Council of Hungarian Women or of the Women's International Democratic Federation. This exhibition, yesterday Daniel told us about two exhibitions, the French book exhibition and Moore exhibition, organized around this time that were important for Hungarian democratic needs. I would add this exhibition to this, because it also seems to respond to this needs in this particular period after 1956. I agree with Celia Donner, one of the scholars working on the transnational circulation of ideas about women's equality during the Cold War, that the influence of Soviet and East European regimes, as well as Western communist parties, the influence on the circulation cannot be underestimated, not only for the political and institutional context, but for the self-understanding of the activists involved, and their views on the place of sex equality among the large political questions of the times. Her statement is a contribution to the debate taking place among feminist scholars about women's agency in state socialist countries and the way they implemented these countries implemented emancipation for women. Donner is more skeptical than other scholars about independence of women's organization. For me, her observation is inspiring in thinking specifically on all women exhibitions as sites of circulation of ideas about women. One of the basic questions that are worth asking is, did these women who participated in the International Exhibition of Women Artists actually meet? Only few of them, or maybe some of them. We know that several activists from the Women's International Democratic Federation from various countries came to Budapest. We also know that several artists who were curators, as we can say, of national participations came. But the majority of artists did not go. Their works were sent, which is actually, as we know, quite typical for this kind of official cultural exchange. The catalogue, I am showing you several pages of the catalogue. The catalogue they might have brought home was not informative. It was published only in Hungarian, included no photos, and only some participating countries were mentioned, as I said before. Polish participation at the exhibition was quite big, with 42 artists showing together 102 artworks. It was prepared by the Association of Polish Artists, more specifically by Teresa Kruszewska. You can see here Teresa Kruszewska sitting next to her a chair that she designed that was very, very popular in the 50s, in the second half of the 50s internationally. And Teresa Kruszewska was the only person who went to Budapest from out of these 42 artists. I have no information about Kruszewska's participation in socialist women's activism, on socialist women's movement. She became a curator probably because at that time she was the head of design section of the Association of Polish Artists. And design was perceived as women's contribution to the creation of new social environment. I also have no information of any involvement of Polish Women's League in the preparation of the exhibition. When I say that I have no information, I mean that I looked for them and I haven't found them. Probably it is possible that it was a Polish Women's League that received the invitation, but they forwarded it to the Artists Association, Polish Artists Association. And the Association of Polish Artists decided to invite women artists from several regional brands and sent their artworks to Budapest. No traces of any discussions on women's emancipation in or through art have been detected by me in Polish documents so far in relation to this exhibition. The exhibition, although the Polish participation was significant, was not covered by Polish press, neither by art journals nor women's journals. The exhibition was just very shortly mentioned in some publications, just one sentence was written. Just to conclude, my research is in progress. I am analyzing now how the participation of several other countries in this exhibition. So it is what do I have now? It's samples of Polish artworks exhibited in the exhibition. I am analyzing now participation of several other countries. So it's generally too early for any final conclusions, but some preliminary can be done. It seems that this exhibition that was conceptualized as international celebration of 15th anniversary of International Women's Day and ideas behind it failed in fostering transnational relations between women artists. It strengthened international dimension of socialist or leftist advocacy for women artists across the Iron Curtain, but not independently, I would say, from Cold War politics. But this was not in the, and it was visible rather in the organization of the event, not in the art exhibited. This art was organized in a very specific moment in 1960, so in a way between socialist realism in many of our countries and what we call feminist art. And last concluding remark, in 2010, the centenary of International Women's Day took place. And to my knowledge, no exhibition was organized, no international women's exhibition was organized to celebrate this. And this is also the subject of my research, but I really cannot present more. So thank you very much.